It's about 9 o'clock in the morning, and we had rain overnight, and it cleared up. We actually had sunny skies at 8 o'clock, but it's clouding back over for the next wave. We're expecting rain for the next couple of days. I'm getting ready to head off to the shop, but I have to check something here. I have one more board to put in, and so you can see I haven't counted, there's 40 some boards here. I've got one last to go, but there's only one place I can measure, and this last board has to be cut because it won't fit the width here. And most of my posts here are not parallel with the post on this side, just because of the design and retrofitting everything going in. So to see how well I've done, there's only one place to measure. There's only two posts that are parallel. There's this post right here and its counterpart over there, and then as well as the two posts down there. You might not see that one with the black backdrop behind it, and this one here. This was, I always call the grand stairway joist like this. It just, when you're back here, it just kind of opened up to a view of the yard. And again, we used to have a big flower garden back there. And we even had a giant pool at one time right through here that came all the way up to about here. And then the deck came up, went up over the pool. Anyhow, what I want to see is how well we got. I got to measure the gap here and measure the gap there. Now it's been rained on, things may have moved, but let's see how well I did going up. All right, so if you can see there, about a 3.5 inch gap on that post. And now we come here and about 3 3/8 gap there. So I'm about 1/8 of an inch off from there to there, there to there. That kind of sucks. I was hoping to be pretty spot on. But so I have a board that's going to be slightly angular that I have to cut in here because it has to fit along and then dead along right here. So I either angle cut it, or it's just going to be tighter on this end than on that end, because I have to take off 1/8 of an inch for the block. So it's real close. Now again, this wood may have absorbed a little water, so things might be a little bit more, a little bit less, but overall, I mean, 1/8 of an inch to me kind of sucks. I like to keep it under a 1/16 of air, but we did fight a lot of boards and bend them in places and a little snug, but it is what it is. So I've got to take one of these remaining boards here and I've got to rip it. And what I'll do is I'll rip it to the smallest size, which would be the 3 3/8 here, minus another 1/8 of an inch for the spacing, and I'll throw it in there. But I gotta go buy the treads because I can work on some of that, because I gotta actually stain the treads, so I can do that in the garage. I just don't think I'll get any other real work done on the decking today. So back later. Okay, basically I had a day off yesterday with thunderstorms and rain. I worked on just a couple of little things real quick, but I have temporarily placed, because I have to stain the one stringer I had to replace here. You can see it stands out from the others. It needs to match the rest of the under support since it's exterior. If it were interior, I'd paint it whatever color and not worry about it, but since it's shows, it's got to match everything else, and I don't have any more of that stain, so I had to order a quart, because they only sell gallons and I don't need a gallon. I need a pint, but you don't get it in pints. But I am. So I have just temporarily sitting because I have to router these boards down, but I cut them down, made sure the test fitted, that I like the alignment, and then I'll router the ends down to round it off a bit, make it a little neater looking. The tough board proved to be real tough. After 2 cuts, I decided to go with best, which is not great, but I had to put this last board in right here, and I had to cut it. Now, the nice thing is I did true up the space. This is the same space as every other board, and that worked nicely. The problem is along here, I cut some weaves into it, and this was the best job. If there's one weakness I have, it's freehand cutting. I could not rip this on my table saw because it needed to be cut at an angle, and my table saw can only do 90, 45 or end angle cuts, but not ripping angles. I don't have that fancy a table saw. But be that as it may, I will fill that in with some wood putty and such, and stain it up and make it match. But I did finish all the stairs, so I didn't take the tags off there because I have to do some painting and staining on this here. But now that set of stairs is in, and like I said, yeah, I know I got to take the tags off. I just was throwing them in this morning, and then this evening Joyce was helping me cut. I started working on the angle cuts here. We had a problem. I nailed one of the boards. I'm not happy with it, and I'm debating taking it out, but all my leftover boards are crap. So I don't know, may just that would be covered up by the handrail anyhow, so nobody will see it. And of course these stairs have been in, so I got that board in. So when you look at that board from this direction, it looks nice, you know, it really does. You have to get up close and realize there are some imperfections in it, but I got the spaces trued, I got the angle cuts almost. I need to cut these a little narrower here, but I just was not fitting I'm gonna have to grab a handsaw and a jig and finish cutting it off. And then I've got to do that side. I stopped because I just got too frustrated trying to get this cut properly. I did 3 cuts, and it's supposed to be level with the fascia, and I'm about ½ an inch still off the fascia, trying to get it flush with the fascia without tearing up the fascia, but there it is. That is the latest update on the deck, a short one over the last couple of days. Again, just got killed with rain, and then I have to do the railings, and I still haven't put that post in all the way. Yeah, so not a lot to show off today. Like I said, when you look at the expanse, this is what Joyce liked. And once I get the railings in, it'll really be cool. But she liked the idea that back in the day, we could sit, you know, behind us. We had a swing that we always had here, and look out at our flowers. And we even had a vegetable garden over here. And just she's always had her bird feeder, so we get different birds, hummingbirds even. And we used to do flowers over here, and then it became berries. I used to have grapevines in here and behind the garage. I used to grow a lot of grapes, but the damn local critters ate them before I could harvest them. Apparently they don't care if they're ripe or not. So anyhow, that is deck update number 4 from the last couple of days, where I really didn't have time, but at least the stairs now are fitted, and they are in so that they can be used, and then I will take them out when the stain arrives and I can touch things up, and then get my router out and just run the steps through the router top and bottom, so that the steps look a little, you know, just those steps. The other ones are pre-routered, but those steps out there, just router them to give them a little classier look to it. But otherwise, nice and level. Quite happy with how it came out overall. Once I get the railings in, I can never look at a project and think it's done until it's done. I can't look at it and go, oh, it looks okay now. You know, a lot of people say, hey, it looks great, and I appreciate that. Until it's all done, I don't see it looking great. I'm happy that I got the boards in. They're nicely spaced. But of course, I know I screwed up there and I screwed up over there, and I'm not happy with it. I'm not even a perfectionist, but I know I screwed up and I don't like screwing up. A 12-foot, 13-foot rip, I knew that was going to be tough for me. When I built the deck last time, it was only 1/8 of an inch, so I really just planed it down, but this was more like 1/4 of an inch that I had to adapt. And that's the nice thing, when you put it in, you don't realize that there really is about 3/16 of a difference in width from here to here, because of what we call making it look true. So it's flush on the board for the most part, except where I screwed up there. But otherwise this gap is the same as all the other gaps. So because it's such a narrow difference, you don't really see it. And so I'm quite pleased with that, because the other one actually was, well, about 1/8 of an inch, and this one is more like a quarter, well, 3/16 of a difference. Just these were different with boards, and the reason you get that difference is it isn't even what I did here. It's when I originally built the deck, just things have expanded and shifted, and the ground has shifted, and so this deck is no longer as square as it once was. But anyhow, that's where we're at, and I want to thank everybody that's been very supportive on watching me post this project. I know it's not train related, but I just do the one channel, whether it's comedy songs or Matt Clark or train stuff. I put it on one channel, because if I put different things on different channels, I probably wouldn't be on the train channel as much. So the train channel keeps me in touch with everybody. So take care, everybody, and we'll see you on the live stream tomorrow, but as you watch this, it'll be today. Take care, everybody.